everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, April 30th.
That's right. And we're very close to May.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
When they do that little song with Justin
NSYNC.
Timberlake every time May comes, we should have had that as our intro. Damn it. So we missed the last 2 weeks. We had spring break, and then I was away for a conference. So now we are back for another edition of the Off to 56 YouTube Live. So thanks for all you guys who are tuning in, and please let us know where you guys are watching from, as we always like to know if you guys are local here in San Diego. And if there's everything you guys want us to talk about more, do you want to do more real estate news, more lifestyle news, more development news? We want to tailor these videos to you guys.
Local
obviously.
News, San Diego. You want us to talk about restaurants, opening, closings, stuff like that?
That's what I like to talk about the most, but not everyone always likes to talk about that. So
I do.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about some new restaurant openings, actually one in particular, we'll talk about in a minute, some new development news, and obviously the real estate market, because after all,
we're real estate agents.
That's right, we are. So we buy and sell homes here in San Diego, and we always like to share everything that we learn about the real estate market and everything San Diego. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to get it. And the big question is, can you guys hear us? Because it looks like we can, but just in case you cannot, please let us know in the comments.
That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna get into some news articles, and then we'll talk about the real estate market at the end, per usual. And like I said, just put questions in the comments. So let's get this up here without further ado. We do this for about 30 minutes, give or take. And if you have questions, sometimes it goes a little bit longer, but for the time being, we try to stick to about 30 minutes. Okay, share screen.
This is the part when I have to talk.
Yes, this is when you talk.
This is when I just give my monologue. I'm excited about this one. The first thing I think you're going to bring up, I'm actually really excited about. I just texted my husband. I said, should we try to make a reservation here for Mother's Day? I don't know.
You should, because it's a very exciting place, and people are pretty excited about this one.
I know you are. I assume they take reservations.
Yes.
It's always good to know.
So this article is actually a little bit old. Oh, there it goes one way. Culinary Dropout opens today in Carmel Valley. It's actually open now. You can actually book it on Open Table right now.
What are we doing here?
So I've actually booked one for today already. So I will be going there shortly after this. And hopefully I'll make an Instagram reel around this. And if you guys do not follow us on Instagram, make sure you follow North County SD Instagram handle, because this is where we talk almost every single day about things going on in San Diego, real estate, new restaurants like Culinary Dropout opening,
development deals,
new construction, all that good stuff. So if you're unfamiliar with Culinary Dropout, I've actually never been to one. Have you been to one?
No, I haven't.
I guess they're popular throughout the country. It's kind of a national chain. It's actually owned by Cheesecake Factory.
Yes, we have talked about.
We talked about it opening, but now it's officially
it's officially open.
So I wanted to talk about it again.
I hope next week you give like a full. Well, maybe I crash your reservation and come see.
Yeah, let's go check it out. It's right down the road.
Yeah.
I booked it. The only time they had available was 1:45. So I might just try to go early and see if they'll let me in.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who I am?
Right.
And then they'll cancel my reservation and not let me in. So yeah, this is a good restaurant. Apparently they have live music. They have, comfort food type stuff, owned by Cheesecake Factory. Don't hold that against it, but I am excited about this one. And I think this will be a good addition to,
I think so too. That replaced previously that was a Tilly's there, correct?
Tilly's,
in Del Mar Highlands. So they had a retail store and it was replaced with the restaurant, which is fun. I think Del Mar Highlands has lots of great food options. As somebody told us the last time we did a YouTube live, they're bringing in Zen Modern Asian Bistro to the Sky Bar.
Sky Deck, right?
Sky Deck.
Yeah.
Sky Bar? Sky Deck.
Sky Deck.
That's a good restaurant too. So I'm excited about that as well. So Del Mar Highlands, man, they've done a great job. And then with One Paseo right across the street, that's like
and then you come over
to place to hang
Highlands
out.
And we have,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, we have the worst food options.
Why could we not just pick up what they have and just drop it right here where we are?
A mini version of One Paseo right across the street from where our office is.
Yes,
would be great. So let me know if you've been to Culinary Dropout, what I should try when I go, because I have not been before.
Yeah.
Okay. Next topic. This is some kind of bug ad going on here. Termites can help smart and working. I'll pause that. So if you had not heard the news, the San Diego is actually getting an Olympic event for the 2026.
This is amazing.
Is it 2026? No, 2028 Olympics. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we're going to get surfing up at the very north end of North County, San Diego.
I was shocked that this was even North County. I would always think that this would not be North County. It is like 5 miles south of San Clemente. It is north of Camp Pendleton. I know Camp Pendleton is still North County, San Diego.
I thought it kind of ended at Camp Pendleton, but I guess
too.
part
We've
of
been
this
proven wrong.
beach is North County and part of it's
right.
Not,
so
it's
this
right on
is
the border.
San Onofre State Beach, and it is specifically like trestles, the break there, the surf break. So that's
where do people park?
Really cool.
Like if you're having an Olympic event, where do people park?
I was just thinking about that myself.
I always think about
like,
parking.
what are the logistics here? It's not a huge stretch of freeway there. Every time you drive up to LA,
is there even a park? There must be some.
There's a small parking lot,
but
for an Olympic event, I don't know where they're going to have people park. And again, south of you is Camp Pendleton, so there's nothing there. There's nothing that you can access.
They must have to add some sort of parking.
Are they going to shuttle people from somewhere else? From San Clemente,
or Oceanside, I guess.
No, that'd be way too far to go from Oceanside to. I mean, I guess they could,
but San Clemente would be the closest.
Yes, that'd be close.
So I would imagine they'll have some sort of base camp there.
Yeah. So interesting, really cool. And obviously that's men's and females, male and female, men's and women's surf. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I would try to avoid the traffic there. This is probably gonna be terrible when they do this.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
It's already sucks.
And I was wondering too, can you even walk up the beach? The beach south of that is Camp Pendleton. So you can't walk up the beach. You couldn't walk from, that'd be so far.
It would be.
But just thinking how it's going to work out.
Okay. So Olympics coming to San Diego, pretty exciting. I was hoping we'd get another,
something. I know. Well, hey, it's Olympics, Los Angeles, not Olympics.
Yes, but
San
it is
Diego.
kind of all. Even wasn't one of the event in like Kansas City or something like that?
Oh,
I don't think
no. And I mean, you know what? Come to think of it, when they did Paris this past year, they did all the surfing events in Tahiti, right?
Yeah, they can't do surfing.
They can't, right?
Yeah,
so
they do sometimes.
You do have remote locations. You're right, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay, another thing. This only is going till May 5th. Jurassic Beach in Carlsbad, which I just did a reel on this recently. I guess this has been going on all month, but again, we haven't done this in 2 weeks, so I didn't have time to report it. It's kind of a cool thing if you're into dinosaurs like myself, big dinosaur fan.
Yeah.
Especially Jurassic Park. They have these animatronic, sort of lifelike dinosaurs. So if you have some skittish kids, might not be the best idea in the world. But if you've been to the camp store in Carlsbad, it's a super cool place.
So cute.
Right on the bluffs there, and you get views of the ocean. They do live music there on the weekends. They have some pretty good food. They have pizza, I think, there too.
Yeah. And now they have dinosaurs.
Until May 5th. So if you want to bring the kids over there, or just for a date night, kind of cool to check out.
Is there a fee for that? Or you go to the camp store? There's not any kind of entrance fee.
You can make reservations to certain tables, but I think those are all sold out. They're only saving 6 for reservations. Everything else is just first come, first serve.
That's really cool,
I think
because
it's
you
free.
know what? Sometimes they have stuff like that at like the fairgrounds, where they have like the big Jurassic thing come, and you end up paying for tickets. If you get kind of the same sort of experience, but you're out there at the camp store, that's really cool.
It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
So if you have not checked that out, I would try to get there. And then actually, is this the last weekend? I guess May 5th. Yeah. We're already on April 30th already.
I can't believe that.
Crazy.
This year is flying by.
Okay, next topic. Oh, this one was a little bit controversial. I did a reel on this one recently. It's that California is exploring getting rid of the gas tax, replacing it with a road charge program. Apparently, they're already doing this. They had some test programs in different states throughout the country, and I think was it Oregon or Washington are doing it right now, and they're charging 1.9 cents per mile driven, but it's voluntary right now.
Who would?
So what they do is, like, if you partake in it, you get refunded the fuel tax that they have on the gas.
Okay.
So it's one or the other, but
and what were they saying about people with electric cars? Obviously?
So I guess you would pay less if you have an electric car than someone that has a gas guzzling car, or like Priuses would pay less, even though they have gas or hybrid and that sort of thing. So I'm sure EV owners are not in favor of this, because a lot of reasons why people buy EVs is to avoid gas taxes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of pushback, because there's tons of EVs in San Diego.
That's what I was just about to say.
general.
California in general.
So I'm not looking for extra fees. Just like, this is unrelated to that. I just wanted to bring this up before I forget. I do want to talk about the trash.
I knew you were going to talk about
because we talked about this before. Did you get it in the mail?
Yes, it came in the mail.
So I'm sure you guys have heard about this if you follow us at all. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
The trash program for San Diego, the city of San Diego.
Yeah.
You used to get it for free trash, or it was baked into your property tax bill, basically. Now they've changed the rules, and the voters actually voted for this, which I was still shocked by how this happened. But
I could explain how that happens.
yes, regardless, they sent out a letter to everyone that lives in the city of San Diego, and where you can protest this new fee. So if they get, I think more than 50% of people respond in the negative,
yes,
then they cannot enforce this
they
new
will
trash tax.
eliminate this tax.
The
and it is
tax.
one response per household. It is not per
Right.
person in the home. So it's one per household. And if you do not get it in the mail, I believe you can also print the form out and mail it in yourself.
Okay.
I believe so.
Did you get it in the mail?
Yes.
You did. Okay.
But
I was going to bring it on the live site, but my wife already sent it in.
Sent it in. Good. She was on top of that.
So if you are not looking for more bills, whether it's fuel taxes or burn charges or trash tax, make sure you send that back.
And it just goes to show to also pay attention when you're voting on these propositions that are so wordy in their descriptions, and it can be really, really confusing. There's apps and there's websites for that now where you can just type in where you live, your zip code, and it will break down every one of those props where you can say, what am I actually voting for? Give it to me in layman's terms. Because I think they really try to confuse you.
I think they try to remain neutral on them, but then they definitely sometimes will be in one way or another.
Neutral, sure. Yeah. But I feel like it's just like the jargon they use. The jargon you're like, am I voting yes for this or am I voting no for this?
It's worded,
is it exactly the way it's worded?
If I'm in favor of it, do I say yes or do I say no?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it can be confusing.
Yes. So let me know your guys' thoughts. If you live in the city of San Diego, are you in favor of the trash tax or not in favor?
Nobody wants an additional.
No one wants more taxes.
Yeah.
Whether it's gas tax, trash tax.
Yes.
Brass tax. Okay. So that is the gas program and trash program.
Yeah.
Okay, so now some development news. If you were unfamiliar with some of these projects, Seaport San Diego, which is the massive redevelopment of Seaport Village, which I posted this recently on Instagram, and there was some people say we should just leave Seaport Village alone.
As it is.
I think it definitely needs a little bit of a revamp. I mean, I like going down there, especially with people coming to town.
Exactly.
And that
I was
sort of
just
thing.
there
That's
last
usually
week.
the only time I really go there, when people are visiting.
Yeah.
But it is nice down there. I think it could just use a little. Does it have to be completely redeveloped? Maybe not. Maybe you can keep the charm of it and not have to add. They're adding like hotels and towers and this all.
There already are hotels down there.
I guess they're adding more. But they are going to add like a little beach area, which I thought was kind of a cool.
I think that would be great as well.
So I think it does need to be revamped. Does it have to be completely redeveloped? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But they're trying to fast track the environmental review process. So if you guys know anything about the Coastal Commission, they're kind of a pain in the butt to work with. But they're trying to protect our coastlines. And all this other stuff. It is there for a reason.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get them to respond quicker. I guess they usually have 6 months. And they're trying to get them to respond in 90 days instead or something.
Okay, that's quick.
So if they get that, this thing can happen faster.
Yeah.
It probably will not start construction for at least until 2027, I think they were saying. So it's still a couple years away. But I like Seaport Village. I think it could use a little bit of a revamp.
I think it could use a revamp. On the surface, I feel like a little beach area sounds nice. At the same time, I don't know about that.
You don't like it?
I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure. I was just there last week. I think that could take a turn.
I mean, they have that big grass open field.
Yeah,
there,
they do, which is lovely. Nice. I mean, and there really isn't any other beachy area on the waterfront there. There's not at all. It's rocks. It's the.
Well, it's a harbor.
It's a harbor. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Ocean, essentially.
Right.
So.
But I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think you
could
have
people. About what type of people?
People loitering. People just. I don't know. Like people. I don't. I kind of like how it's very pedestrian friendly and people do just kind of move through. People aren't posting up for the day.
Sure.
I don't know how that would change the vibe if you had families bringing the coolers down and your umbrella down and all the chairs, and then you have people kind of posting up, staking out that space. I don't know.
Maybe they should ask us what we think.
I think so. I mean, I love the idea of that, but I don't know how you'd.
Yeah, I get that. So let us know if you guys would like to see Seaport Village revamped, because it's a little split based on recent Instagram comments. So, okay, what else do we have here?
Talk about San Marcos.
Oh yeah, do I have that on here? I might have forgot to put it on here.
Okay.
We can talk about it though. So Up
thought she
in
did
San
have
Marcos area, it's Cal State San Marcos next to North
Yes.
City. They are actually getting more dorm rooms there. Apparently, they actually already have dorm rooms there, which
They do.
I guess they don't have a lot of them.
They don't. And actually, California state schools as well as UC schools are having a huge housing crisis right now. They can really only at a lot of these schools. California is huge.
UCSD, they're adding more too. I think I've heard that.
They
Yeah.
better. A lot of these schools are having this type of housing crisis where they can only guarantee you housing for freshman year only. And
Okay.
that's like you end up in this sort of lottery system. It sounds, I have a junior going into college after next year, and I'm very worried about it. So I love to hear that Cal State San Marcos is expanding.
Yeah.
They're adding more dining areas. They're at
They're
right.
actually have a proper, almost like a university village apparently there, which is
I
kind of
think
cool.
that's amazing.
I think Cal State San Marcos could be much more popular with this. And then they have right next door to it.
I
where
think
it's
it
just
is. I
connected
think it
to
is popular, which is why you're seeing all of this
Yeah.
expansion.
And
because
now they
it's
have
a
North
great
City.
option.
North
Yeah.
City's directly next door, which has restaurants. They
Right.
have the bowling place.
Right.
What's it
Right.
called?
Not
Not
Bolero.
Bolero. The other one.
Jinx just
can't
said that.
remember
I
what it's
can't think of
called.
the other one.
But it's actually becoming like a little bit of a college town, sort of. Maybe not even a college town, just like a nice walkable town.
I'm
sort of thing.
curious as to how the residents of San Marcos feel about that, but I think that's great. And I think with the housing shortage that we have on a lot of college campuses here in the state of California, I think that's a really good move.
Yeah, there's a housing crisis for everybody.
Yes,
Whether it's
yes,
college students,
yes.
people, normal
But I mean,
people.
college students should. You're paying these crazy rates just
It's
to go to school there. Like
crazy.
you would hope they could at least.
Although if you live in California and go to Cal State San Marcos, you're probably paying somewhat reasonable price, right?
It's better. Yes, it's better.
Compared
it's
to
still,
state school to out of state.
yes,
tuition,
out of
so.
state would be so much, but even in state schools, it's a lot.
Do you know what Cal State San Marcos costs?
I'm not sure what it costs. Most recently I
I have
looked
it on
at
here.
UC Santa Cruz. I looked at UC Santa Barbara. So, and those are UC schools, but
Mhm.
the cost for tuition wasn't crazy. It's room and board where they get
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
And you have to live on campus.
Especially
like
they
when
don't
you
have a lot
visit.
of housing to choose from.
Exactly.
So, but Cal State San Marcos, it's a $91 million state funded revamp, 555 more beds, 7-story dorm room, and 2-story dining. I
That's
saw the renderings of it.
awesome. Yeah,
It looked pretty cool. So that'll be a nice addition
that's
to
great.
that.
And they've already expanded that campus a bunch.
Yeah.
Even 20 years ago, it was mainly a commuter school. And
Yeah.
now they've really done a lot to expand that
Right.
campus and make it.
It probably still is technically more. I mean, they do have some dorms, but it
Yeah.
probably feels more like a commuter school
But
compared to like
they're moving in the
UCSD.
right.
Yeah, they're going in that
direction
direction.
there.
So and that's supposed to open in fall of 2026. So
That's not that far off.
not that far. Not that far. Okay. Okay. Now we'll get into the real estate portion of our live today. We got about 10 minutes left. But again, if you guys have questions about anything San Diego related, housing market, throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. This was just in the San Diego Union Tribune recently. Will California's low homeownership rate ever get fixed? So
This makes me sad.
we have only 55%. Is it 55% of people can afford to, or 55% are actual
Our
homeowners
actual homeowners, I believe.
in the state of California,
Yeah.
which is the lowest mark out. Actually, there's one
New
state.
York.
New York's the only one
New York
that's
has
lower.
lower, but not by much. It was maybe 3%.
Yes.
We're at 55, I believe, and New York was at like 52 or 53. So
And has this always been the case? So this is 2022, 1988 to 99. So was this? Can we look at this thing without it going away? 88 to 90 was 53%. In 1988 to 90 we ranked 49.
okay, so we're always
We've always
kind
been
of
pretty-
hovering around
pretty
that
low,
that mark.
yeah.
Yeah.
One family share of permits. Okay. So yeah, I don't really see that changing anytime soon. Because
I don't either.
unless we have another housing crash or
Right.
a financial disaster or something where
Right.
prices drop. But then if
Yeah.
you have a financial disaster, can people
That's-
afford to
can
buy
people
anything
afford
if they drop?
anyway? Right.
So they all kind of go hand in hand. So it's kind
Yeah.
of they're continuing to build new units here in California and
Sure.
San Diego specifically, but you have to build so much more homes for it to become. And if we do that, like, is it really prices are really going to drop considerably? I don't know.
I don't know. I still feel lucky to live here, though. I still
This
love
is
living
true.
here. I'm very grateful that I live here. So
So there's that.
even with all,
How
even with
expensive
that,
it is,
it's just a little bit of
Oops.
doom and gloom.
Oh, I should have put this one in the earlier part.
That's
San
okay.
Diego's grand plan to revamp Mission Bay stalls over impasse with the Coastal Commission. So
Again, the Coastal Commission.
Coastal Commission is always an issue with people here.
Who do we
So,
know that works on the Coastal Commission?
I don't
Anybody?
know
Give us
anybody.
the inside scoop on all of this.
7 months ago, the state agency asked for more details. The city is still preparing a response. They asked 7 months ago for a response from the city, and they have not responded.
Mm.
So They're supposed to add more marshland, a park, that sort of thing. So I'm not super familiar with this project, but again, the Coastal Commission is holding it up.
Yep.
And they're asking for more marshland, I think, in part of it. So do I have a?
I was going to say it was also the Coastal Commission that was looking into like the fireworks at SeaWorld that I talked about a while ago.
Right.
And that just came up again in the news.
The Big Bay Boom?
No. Just the nightly fireworks
from
SeaWorld.
Too. But they also talking about
talking about that as well.
So that might go away now too because of environmental issues.
Yes.
I get the SeaWorld one because that's
every night.
Almost every night. But the Big Bay Boom is once a year.
Yeah.
And we have sewage coming in from Tijuana on a daily basis. Yeah. So it's just like, yes, I'm sure it does affect the environment. So I don't want to, but it's a one-day event that people really seem to enjoy.
Is it the drone companies coming in trying to edge them out?
Maybe.
I'm making a case for a drone show only.
Drone show is kind of cool, but there's something about fireworks that kind of gets you.
That's the tradition. The sound and the. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I know some people don't love it because the dogs don't love it either, but
get your dog one of those stress
are kind
jackets.
of like an American thing. I mean, obviously the world thing, but like 4th of July is a big thing for fireworks.
They're not actually. We're not actually.
I found the Cal State San Marcos one, so we just talked about this. Okay, so that was the Cal State San Marcos. Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about the housing market. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this or you're even following the housing market this spring, but it's been a little up and down kind of thing. The inventory is definitely higher than it has been in the past. Buyers are definitely taking their time with rates not dropping as much as people were hoping.
Right.
So if you're looking to buy in the springtime here, you're definitely probably going to have better luck. You're not going to have a ton of multiple offer situations unless they price it really low.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of back on market houses, price drops, that sort of thing. So the home prices still have gone up. What do they say here? And I said that San Diego County home prices are up 2.75% annually. And if you follow the market over the last 5 years, it was much, much higher than the previous year. So I would not be shocked to see home prices actually be lower by the end of the year than they are right now. Because usually the springtime is when you see a little shoot up. And then once midsummer hits, especially in the North County areas where the schools are dependent, that prices tend to drop after that. But if the prices are not going up much this spring, I would expect the summer and fall times to be maybe seeing more price drops. Yes. This is just a hypothetical guess, educated guess, and I'm not positive that's going to happen, but that's just the way from agents that I talked to, from home buyers and sellers, it just seems different this year.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to buy or sell at this time, then, if you're going to sell, make sure you price it very appropriately. If you price it even a little bit high, you're probably going to sit there for weeks. So just keep that in mind. And buyers, you're going to have a lot more options to choose from. So just keep your eye out for deals because they're probably going to be out there.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the country, like our prices are up, but if you go to like Texas or Florida especially, home prices are dropping like flies over there. And they're having, typically San Diego holds up pretty well, even in down markets. But, if you're looking for a deal this spring, I think you might be able to find one. Thoughts?
Here.
In San Diego.
Not in Florida.
Not Florida, you'll definitely get
I'm
some
not
deals
sending anyone out to Florida.
My brother's trying to sell his place in Tampa, Florida right now.
Oh, really?
And as of last week, he has not because he has to move back to
Yes. Does he have it priced aggressively or everyone has
I think
it's priced aggressively?
I think they all kind of do. Yeah. So Zillow's home value says, and Zillow's actually says home values are projected to drop 1.9% this year. So not a huge drop, but when we're used to prices going up 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm curious if you guys if anyone's looking to buy or sell this spring, let us know. Or if your house is currently on the market, let us know how it's going. Curious to see if it's sold quickly or it's taking an extra.
That's why it's so great to have a real estate agent that prices the home accurately and so that you get it sold without it sitting on the market.
And then like every market's a little different. So in a hot market, you can pretty much price it wherever you want. It could be a little bit high, a little bit low, right on the money, and still probably get multiple offers. In this market, you got to price it slightly under the market if you want it sold fast. If you want it right at the market value, just know it's probably going to be sit there for a few weeks. So, which is fine.
Okay if you're not in a rush to sell your home and you're really set on.
But if you're trying to buy another house,
that's a different story.
Then you have to price it correctly. So just keep that in mind. Talk to your real estate agent. Hopefully, they can guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. You got some comments there.
Oh, let's see what we got to.
Yeah.
We got a question here. Rent versus buy as a single person. I mean, obviously we're real estate agents, so maybe we're slightly biased on this, but if you can afford to buy,
yeah,
and it makes sense, I feel like sometimes it depends on what your monthly payment's going to be versus what will be rent. Because say your rent would have been $2,500 and your monthly payment to own would be $5,000. Could you use that extra $2,500 to invest in something else?
Yeah.
Versus that, or buy an investment property somewhere else? But if it's closer, if it's $2,500 to $3,500, with all the tax breaks you get for home ownership, then it's worth it to buy, in my opinion.
I'd also say location-wise, I'm assuming you mean here in San Diego. If you're somewhere else, I mean, I would say location to location basis makes a difference. Makes a difference as well. Like in Florida right now. In Florida.
You could rent a place here and then buy a deal in Florida.
There you go.
Got to deal with all the insurance stuff. But insurance isn't great here either. So.
Right.
No. So I think it just depends on your situation, what you're looking to buy, and what rent would cost. So there's some rent versus own calculators, so they can kind of tell you like, okay, this is what it would be. Is it worth it or not worth it? So case by case basis, I guess. Hopefully that helps. One more question: why are new construction apartments, condos all called luxury? It's definitely marketing. They want it to sound fancy. I mean, every place you get
is going to market
unless it's
it
like
as
an affordable
luxury
housing, they won't call it luxury usually. But they're not going to say like
minimalist,
standard or something. So,
basic.
Basic.
Super
these ones are basic. So it is just marketing. They want you to think it's a really fancy place.
Yes. Yep.
And honestly, all the new ones, they're brand new, so they're gonna just call it luxury no matter what.
Yeah.
So, but basically a marketing thing.
Right.
So, okay. If you have other questions, let us know. And then San Diego released. Oh, I meant to put this one earlier. This isn't real estate related. San Diego releases a list of dozens of beach park bathrooms that may close. To save $1.7 million. Apparently,
is that $1.7 million a year?
It's a year.
Every year.
I'm pretty sure it's a year.
Is that? And what goes into operating bathrooms?
Is this a Solana Beach one? Is this
guys? You need bathrooms though. You need bathrooms.
Maybe
if you're gonna charge people
to
be on the beach, if you're gonna charge people for parking, you need to have an amenity like a bathroom.
Yeah, I would think so. Bathrooms are important. So.
That's very important.
Yes.
That can really affect the quality of your trip to the beach.
Yes, exactly.
Parking and bathrooms. Honestly, that's what I say. I'm like, does it have parking? Does it have bathrooms? Are the bathrooms easily accessible? Yeah.
And this is what's interesting. Back to the real estate. Zillow expects single-family rents to rise 3.1% in 2025. So I thought that was interesting. With prices theoretically going down, why would rents go up? But this is also national. It's not just San Diego related.
Okay, because I was going to say.
San Diego is building so many apartments right now. Like every pretty much new construction building that you're seeing is basically apartments.
Yes.
So I actually suspect in the next 2 years that you might actually see rents go down in San Diego. Just by the amount of units they're building.
Single family?
Because not single family, like more like condos or apartments, that sort of style, because they're not building a lot of single family.
Maybe that's why single family rents have risen.
That's true. This is single family. So I would say multifamily rents are expected to tick up 2.1%.
Okay.
But I would suspect this is also national news, not local San Diego. But they're building so many, especially downtown and some of the metro areas. They're building lots of units, and they're all asking for lots of money.
Yeah.
So eventually, I think
it's got to hit a
balance sort of thing.
Right.
So I think like even over here where they're building all these apartments and stuff over here.
Yeah.
And I think they were very popular when they first built, but now they built more. They have this other apartment building over here. And they were asking a lot of money for a place.
It's like thousands of
and they call it Carmel Valley over here too, which is it's not Carmel Valley.
No.
They even call One Paseo Del Mar, which is really not.
I mean, technically it's inland Del Mar.
Yeah. But it's 92130 versus which is essentially Carmel Valley zip code, but they like to call it Del Mar. And we all know it's Carmel Valley.
That's how you market your luxury accommodations. You say,
it's all about the luxury.
This is Carmel Valley.
And we're in Torrey Highlands.
Yeah.
They said the edge of Carmel Valley. I'm like, no, it's edge of Torrey Highlands.
Torrey Highlands,
It is what it is. Let's see. What areas of San Diego have good parking?
Oof.
Anything
Bern could talk about parking all day.
Make a whole episode on this. I would say
Downtown can be difficult, I
downtown
would say.
is tough, but I mean, like North Parks and South Parks, you can find parking relatively easy there. It depends if like hopefully whatever place
That's-
you're renting, it comes with a parking spot.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say the parking is like easy in those areas, but if you have assigned parking, they do have those parking garages in North Park that make it pretty.
They
easy.
do. And they have some downtown as well, but it's nothing like
Anything in North County is relatively easy to park.
That's true.
Unless you're like in Encinitas, kind of sucks. So if you're over in Encinitas,
Yeah.
like that downtown area
street
there. So.
parking.
But if you're like in
yeah.
any of the suburban areas, pretty easy to park. But if you're in the metro areas, Mission Bay parking sucks. So I would stay away from Mission Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mission Beach, Mission Bay.
Yep.
Downtown's not going to be great, but North Park and South Park, I don't know if any of you guys live in that area. It's generally okay to find parking there.
Yeah.
You might have to go 2 blocks down and find a parking spot, but it's not too bad. But whatever apartment you get, because they're building these complete communities that don't offer enough parking. I wonder if that's what he's referring to.
Oh,
You
yeah.
call them complete communities that they're building that they don't have to offer
As
parking
many
as long
spaces.
as it's within a certain distance from a transit
Right.
station or something
That's
like
right.
that. So,
Oh, I remember reading that. Yeah, that's true.
what is reasonable for 1-bedroom apartment in San Diego these days? I think the average was $2,400 for a one
I was
bedroom.
going to say 24, 28
Yeah,
even.
you can get it a little bit cheaper, and you can definitely get it a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
But I would say $2,400 for like a decent neighborhood.
And I would
probably.
say studio offerings can even
like 19,
knock it down a bit.
Yeah, so if you want a studio, 1,900, 2,000
Mhm,
probably
mhm.
average, and
Yep.
then you can find it a little bit cheaper. If you get one of these old buildings that aren't as well updated,
Updated,
it'll be a
sure.
little cheaper.
Or
And
with all the amenities and
areas.
stuff. Yeah.
so that's probably a good basis point to go off for rentals, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I would. For one
Um,
bedroom, sure.
Okay, I think that is pretty much it. Unless you guys have any last questions for me or Miss Courtney here.
Vern's got a reservation to get to.
I got to get to Culinary Dropout here ASAP. So if you guys have gone there, let us know what you thought and what I should try because I'm going to be there in about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go too.
Yeah, might as well check it out.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right, guys. We'll hopefully be back again next week. Same batch time, same batch channel. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.